This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing Risus, the anything role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is A Kringle in Time. It was written by S. John Ross, who is also the creator of this system, and the scenario is available from Drive-Thru RPG. Preston Firestone is our game master, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by Julian Arba as his character, Fred McDonald. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Julian?
Thank you, Thom. Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm glad to be back here on stage with you today, and I've got a hell of a story to tell you. Some crazy shit's been going on here. Santa's gone mad, and I'm trying to help stop this whole thing, because all of us can be heroes each and every day. But the last time we left you guys, everything was kind of going to shit. Kiso shocked himself. Lady Silver got transported somewhere, who knows where. And Nos tried to disable the computer. I don't know. That's when the other Santa showed up. And I came to save the day because I have the ability to conk these things out with the little ringing bells. So I made sure that we were all taken care of in that regards. Then we were able to disarm the nuclear missiles and prevent nuclear catastrophe, which is always good. You guys cannot tip me if you are not here, and that is bad. Eventually, the whole Macy's building collapses, and we fly off with 7 reindeer to 1843 London. It's just as bad as you thought it was. Foggy, smoky, terrible, awful, nasty. Very grim. And who do we find? Jacob Marley. He's rattling his chains, wanting us to help him to portray Christmas past, present, and future. So I take on the mantle of Christmas past, and we all go to Scrooge's house, and tag on it if he doesn't look a whole lot like Santa. Something's not right with this whole scenario. I don't like it. So I try to portray Christmas past, and I do a really good job. I should get an Oscar for that performance. And it's just cheese stuff that I eat, and something happens, and Gary eats some cheese, and something happens, and we eventually end up over at Tiny Tim's house. And we find out that Tiny Tim is actually an evil wizard, and he's got some weird-ass magic book. And apparently Tiny Tim is like the leader or something of some weird cult that worships Cathismus. So off we go again, trying to find this angry cult of Dread Christmas. And we have the book, and we're going and things, and we get over to Loch No Wales. I think that's right. Loch No Wales. Yeah, Loch No Wales. And we see this green light out in the water. And it was a pretty hairy landing. Loch Noel, yes. And eventually we get to this one part where there's all these Christmas trees. And we find out it's Shub Tannenbaum. And we get up into another fight with these Christmas trees. Nos gets hit hard. We set some on fire. We put the rest of them in flames. And we run away to the grave of Scrooge and get back to London. And we have a debate about what to do. Rhett, he reads the book and he learns all about Cathismus and the worship of Cathismus. And he's kind of like this great bloated creature with a beard of white tendrils. Oh, I got my story out of order. Loch Noel came later. As you can see, I'm a talented and excellent performer. And I know what's going on the whole time. Anyway, we see this little village, and there's this lake, Loch Noel, and apparently this is where Cathismus lives, down in the lake. And Gary and Nos, they put us in a boat, and they start to row us out towards the island. And that's where things ended up.
Thank you, Fred. Christ climbed down from his bare tree this year and ran away to where no intrepid Bible salesman covered the territory in two-tone Cadillacs, and where no Sears Roebuck creches complete with plastic babe and manger arrived by parcel post, the babe by special delivery, and where no televised wise men praise the Lord Calvert whiskey. As you approach the island and land, you peer out across a brightly lit clearing in the evergreens, illuminated and throbbing, changing colors by a gigantic circular ring of Christmas bulbs. Each bulb is larger than a man, and the ring surrounds a massive stone altar on which you see the form of kind, foolish Bob Cratchit, his wife, his two daughters, and one of his sons, bound and gagged. The final Cratchit looms above them on crutches, slowly waving a holly wreath and shouting long chants of tongue-twisting Welsh gibberish into the falling snow. The gibberish is doing something. The ground trembles. Gather around the altar more of the fleshy Christmas tree beasts, and also many humans dressed in simple robes painted to look like Santa suits. Many of them writhe on the ground, impressing their images into the snow in the form of snow angels. One man, a sinister, bloated, jolly man, stands over them, leading the outer ring of cultists in a chant. This is Santa Claus. Angry Santa Claus. And with one look at the glint of utter destructive madness in his eyes, you can see that he earns that title.
Well, I know a little bit about magic now. I think that if we can manage to disrupt this entire thing, and they can't complete the chants the way they want to, then it might send that Christmas monster down into the depths again. But I don't know for sure. I don't know how magic works in this world.
It works how you say it does, Rhett. You're the witch.
And well, I'm from a different universe, but it may work more or less the same. But there's a lot to get through before we get to the evil Santa Claus. If we can stop that tiny Tim, I mean, looks more like tiny, more not so tiny, but rather tall Tim.
Yeah, it's one thing to be a obnoxious, goose-hogging child who yammers on about God blessing us every one. It's another thing to cut up your whole family on a giant basalt altar. That's pretty nasty business. Out here in the perimeter, I figure these oversized googly bulbs might be contributing to the overall atmosphere that they're coordinating in there. So if we smash the hell out of the light show, maybe we can get things off to a bad start.
Absolutely. Are you going to do that, Nos?
How far are they above the ground?
They are on the ground. They're each
They're
like
on
10 feet tall, but mounted on the ground. Yes.
I think I shall try to approach the nearest bulb and inspect its electrical capacities. I may be able to short it out and charge myself at the same time.
Totally. That's totally feasible. And like all good Christmas tree lights, you observe that taking one of them out will disrupt the whole ring.
And they probably
is
don't have the
the-
little plastic bag that has the 2 extras in it. They probably left that behind in the cardboard box.
Exactly.
Also, what's connecting them together? A large green ropey string.
That's it.
Uh,
That's it.
well, I mean, I can try to cut through it.
I mean, isn't it one of those situations where you bust one and they all kind of break after that?
Yeah.
This is what we are hoping. I very much would like to plunge this island into darkness.
Totally.
Well,
So
let's
y'all
have at it then.
Cool. You're sneaking in from the wooded perimeter. Are you trying to do this without being noticed, or are you just charging straight in and attacking?
Well, I'd like to charge in, but at the same time, I do kind of look around to see if anybody's looking in our direction. It's dark out here, except for the green and the yellow and the blue light.
My previous experience with the Shub Tenenbaum was unpleasant, and I should like to... Oh,
Oops,
Oh,
what happened?
Okay, I'm back. Hello.
We didn't know you
Um,
were gone until you jumped across the screen like magic.
Yes.
What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I asked if you were charging in or doing this stealthily.
I say we're thinking about charging in, but we do want to make sure that nobody's looking in our direction. Hopefully they're all looking at that big fat demon man.
Totally. The demon hasn't arisen yet, but they are all either writhing on the ground or facing the center.
Okay,
Figured I'd just go invisible and just make my way over there.
that's good. And I'm dressed almost all in black, so
maybe I could play a little tune and distract them while you guys infiltrate.
perhaps
Oh.
if you play some of the song O Tannenbaum, the
Ah.
Shubs will be writhing to a new piper, as it were.
I will do just that. That's a great idea.
create harmonies to their discordant harmonies and might undo it all. But I'm going to charge forward with my buck knife and bring it down on the cord.
Totally. And simultaneously, Fred is playing Shub Tannenbaum, trying to distract. Kiso, Lady Silver, Nos.
I'm just going to use my power, go invisible, and move in.
Okay. You're trying to get all the way to the altar, or
Yeah, I'm going to try. If they're going to go willy-nilly with the lights, then I'm headed for the altar.
totally. Kiso?
But we
I
cut
feel
the
like
ropes.
I kind of want to challenge Wrathful Santa to an honorable fight to the death.
Totally. And you guys have Avaricious Santa with you, armless, or did you leave him back on the shore? I should ask before we.
Feel like
I
he's
think
not
we-
much help.
Yeah. I think we left him back by the boat.
Okay. But he's on this side of the lake?
I think he's on this side. Yeah.
I mean, we need to get rid of them all. You know,
Yeah, we have to
ultimately,
kill him.
the whole magic involves every one of the Santas, so we don't want him wandering off. Although it seems like he and Gary could potentially work up a double act.
Very true.
Oh, I
I'm
could
still
give him one of
very-
my arms.
I'm still very suspicious. I feel like the reindeer might be doing some sort of noir double cross on us.
Yeah. Of course,
I'll
this
be
looks
that
pretty
detective.
evil right up ahead here, don't you think?
That's
He
true.
he is preparing to slaughter his parents and siblings. This is
And you did get a good
outside
look
of
at
my
that
home
thing.
country.
You got a good look at that thing in the water too. All right.
Let's start with asking Fred to roll for his distraction. This is a pretty big group of folks who are caught in their sort of revelry here, so it's going to be a pretty challenging roll. I'm going to ask for a 15. So, yeah, give us a ball.
With 2 dice. Okay.
Just roll sixes.
Yep. I want to remind that pumping is an operation, so you can temporarily increase the number of dice and then take the equivalent damage after. It's like you can roll so hard that you then are down dice later if you feel like this is a worthwhile moment to do that.
Yeah. And first damage removes from the skill that I'm rolling on, right?
Exactly.
Okay. No, I'll just keep it as is. That's only an 8.
Okay. So you step out into the light and you strum, and everybody turns your way. You're suddenly, they're just staring at you silently, and nothing comes to you. And it's like that awkward moment where you forget what comes next. And now they've all noticed you, and they're pissed. And Tiny Tim says, "Get the intruder!" At that moment, Rhett, you're going for the thing. Okay, I'll say that.
Through it.
Yeah, totally. I don't think there's any reason you would fail at that.
Unless it's super tough.
I think it's just like a general. Unless you really want to roll for it. I'm picturing you taking this big Bowie knife to this. Yeah, exactly. Hacking through it. And so the lights flicker, and suddenly everyone is confused and turning. They're noticing you. They're noticing Fred. Lady Silver, I'd like you to roll to see how far into the middle of the ring you can get. I think
Let's see.
for washed up superhero.
13.
13? Yeah, I was going to say at 12. So you are right next to the altar before you get uninvisible, if that's where you want to be, basically.
Yeah, I was headed for the altar, yeah.
Cool. Kiso, you're heading for Angry Santa to try to challenge him into a duel. That I think is also going to be an opposed roll to see, or is going to be an opposed roll to see if you can convince them. Give me a little bit of a role play here. What does this look like for you to be?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go into the middle of the crowd and just be like, Angry Santa, you're pathetic. I bet I can defeat you in one stroke.
Totally. You got to beat he got a 16. So it'll be samurai.
I guess that's kind of a samurai thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
I got a 12.
You fool.
How do I kill myself to get extra dice?
You yeah. You would take a certain number of extra dice on the one roll and then lose that many dice in damage going forward. Not permanently, but we can talk about recovery afterwards.
I'll take one more dice.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
Normal, yeah.
17.
Nice. Okay. Then, yeah. This is honorable, and I shall kill you all, but I can begin with the foolish samurai. And he turns to engage you. The crowd of cultists is getting up off the ground, confused now that the lights are flickering out and failing. Tiny Tim is still earnestly waving the thing back and forth. His chanting is accelerated. Nos, what are you doing in this moment?
As I am a creature of the night and the darkness is falling, I think it is my time to shine. I am I'm bounding toward the altar, and I believe if I were to sap the life of the Cratchit family before he could complete his spell, then the ritual will be prevented. They are bound and helpless.
Totally. You're looking. Are you straight up going to kill them, or?
Sometimes in this crazy world, you gotta break a few eggs to make a few omelet sandwiches. I don't know. The thirst is upon me. I think I will begin with a limited approach to draining each of the Cratchit family. But if necessary, I am prepared to completely subsume their life essences.
Cool. Roll vampire to see how this goes for you. Lady Silver, you're standing by the altar too.
Hmm.
Um, if you'd like, you can render assistance to this roll.
My intention was actually to just cut them all down, so I don't know that I know what Nos is trying to do.
Totally.
I have rolled a 10.
A 10. I think that what that'll mean here, I guess the answer to the question is how good of a vampire is Nos? Is he like an elder master vampire? Is he sort of a lost boys, can't control his hunger vampire?
Uh, it is the fact that I am primarily a robot, secondarily a master private detective, and only tertiarily a vampire. Otherwise, I would fly up there in bat form and really perform some magical goofiness. So I'm very unlikely to be overwhelmed by bloodlust. Also, I can't move like a shadow through the night, but in fact, I'm having to leap up robotically onto the platform just to begin my attack. However, I remember now that I did purchase 3 lucky shots when I prepared this character. So if
Totally.
more is needed to be done, I have
Yeah.
resources.
I was going to say for tertiary vampire, especially given that you're doing this under the nose of Tiny Tim, Eldritch Sorcerer, and Pathetic Waif, it's going to be challenging to get more than one of these before he casts a banishing holly-themed spell to send you away.
Mm.
So if you'd like to use a lucky shot, maybe now would be the time.
Remind me of that mechanic?
You check it off, and you get an extra die on the roll, and that'll reset next session. And then I'm going to turn to Fred. And
Should I
Red
keep
on
the should I keep the first dice and just add one? Or should I re-roll?
Yeah, really, technically, you should say that you're going to do this before you roll at all. Same for the pumping, Kiso. But for now, yeah, just roll an extra die and we'll see.
We're up to 15.
Nice, nice. No, the life essence is necessary to summon my dread master. And he turns his attention to you, Nos. Fred, at the edge of the circle, the cultists are turning towards you. What are you doing?
How many cultists are?
Well, there are in Risus the number is like a bunch. I don't know.
Okay. Good enough.
But they are definitely confused, and their ability to act aggressively is heavily dampened by the flickering and collapsing of the lights.
Okay. I'm going to try and, in a comedic kind of way, just start to run away comedically. And the whole idea is to actually get them to chase me.
Absolutely.
In the hopes that I could develop a plan whilst running. That's my idea.
Totally. Yeah. Give us a roll on Vaudevillian.
That would be 18.
18. Holy bejesus. Okay. So yeah, they're fully chasing you into the woods at this point, filing out of the circle after you. Now, Rhett, I assume you're on the other end of the circle, having just cut through.
Right.
What is your move now?
So I am thinking the string of lights. Now I'm kind of imagining it's maybe a 300-foot diameter circle that it made around the altar area.
That makes sense. Yeah. Like
It is still
thing.
just a rope. So using my witch powers, I'm thinking about, I just want to destroy it completely. So I'm going to cause it to lift up like a whip and do this. so that it goes up and then down and smashes the bulb, and then it ripples all the way around the circle, smashing all the bulbs and just leaving a cable.
Totally,
Which
totally.
next time I'll do something with that.
Yeah,
But it might be
yeah.
really heavy, so
I was just going to say, it's heavy as hell, and this is definitely pulling something towards you that's heavier than you are. So it's going to be a pretty
Right.
challenging. I'm going to ask for a 15 here.
Okay.
And then Lady Silver, you're on deck. And then we'll talk about Kiso's face up with Angry Santa.
No, I got an 11.
No, okay. The first couple lift up and vacillate.
I can barely lift it up. Yeah.
Totally, totally. It's heavy as hell. Lady Silver, next to the altar.
All right, so Nosferatu's doing his thing, but he
Mhm.
has earned the attention of Tiny Tim.
That's it.
So I will attempt to kind of take on Tiny Tim so that Nosferatu can finish doing what he's doing.
Totally.
And I'm trying to decide the best way to do that. Um, I think I'm just gonna go hand to hand.
Yeah, mano a mano.
Yeah,
Okay. He is a pathetic waif, so
I can
you
take
know.
him.
Exactly, exactly. Give us a roll for washed up superhero.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be like a 5 to tackle him to the
12.
ground.
Okay, yeah, it's a
Yeah,
12. So
totally. So you just fully tackle him to the ground. Unhand me, unhand me.
I never liked you in that book.
Uh, nice. Kiso, Angry Santa, is his full attention turned to you. Oh, you've been a pathetic samurai. I'll destroy you and stomp on you and crush to pieces. Ah! And he starts charging towards you.
You're approaching me. Pathetic.
God fucking damn it! So this is going to be an opposed roll. Oh, he rolled poorly. That is yeah, you're going to need to beat an 11 to.
Okay, but I take a die off because I use my thing, right?
That's right, because you pumped.
Oh, 12. Oh my God.
Nice. Nice. You give him a slice and a dice. Foolish
From the
samurai.
sheath.
Nice. I'll kill you yet. Ho, 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 ho. Nos, Lady Silver has just tackled Tiny Tim off from over you. What are you up to?
Thanks for the assist. Mother Cratchit probably smells like goose grease, which is tantalizing to me in terms of the chicken soup aspect that my mother always prepared when I was feeling a little under the weather. So it's just going to be a real. I'm going to drain all but one little. I'm going to drain her until her heart's just barely beating.
Okay. Bob is writhing. Hey, what are you doing to my wife? Only I get to do that.
It's about the magic, my friend. Worry not. You're next.
Oh, that's what they all say. So yeah, the ritual, the rumbling has now ceased. The ritual is firmly disrupted. Fred, you're running into the woods, and muted.
I'd like to try to like lead him out into the woods and then circle back and try to lose him. That's my plan
Totally.
at this point.
Totally. And you got a crazy good roll, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's completely going to work. You lose them out in the woods on this remote island. They're just running around in these robes, getting caught in the brambles and stuff. As you are running back towards the clearing, a looming armless figure charges towards you.
Yeah. So I've lost him out in the woods. I want to run back, and I see this no armed thing running at me. I'm gonna stretch myself between two trees and trip him. And I rolled a 9.
Totally. Against a 5 target number, you successfully stretch out between the two trees. avaricious, nope, yeah, avaricious Santa goes sprawling over your arms and falls to the ground, looks at you. Ho, 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 and I wanted so much more from you than this.
What are you doing? Why? What are you doing?
I saw my moment when you were distracted, and I thought to myself, it is a good moment to invest in destroying these meddling fools. But I have no arms, and it's difficult to do anything.
Yeah, you're pretty pathetic. Let me look. Let's go back. Come on.
He'll sit up and slowly. This seems like a prudent decision to make at this juncture. Stand up and walk towards the clearing with you. Rhett, what are you doing now?
Well, at this point, seeing that idea didn't work, I can see that there's quite a few of these cultists that are moving around, hostile like.
Mhm.
So it's time that I called out old Bessie and just start shooting as I'm walking towards the altar, just shooting anybody that comes in my direction.
Totally, totally. So the few stragglers left after the majority have run out into the woods are running towards you. Give me a roll on Cowboy to see if you can hit these moving targets, my man. It's an
I got
eight.
3 6s and a 1.
Okay, yeah. So that's more than eight. So you just heads
Reload.
explode all over the ground, blood in the snow. It's Christmas. Kiso, Angry Santa, is turning back towards you. I'm gonna fuck you up, boy.
Language.
Oh,
Should we try to get him so angry that he explodes from anger or like has a heart attack?
Has a conniption. Yeah.
Has a
Totally.
conniption.
yeah. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna make him do that?
I think that I'm gonna use. Oh, I don't know. I don't really have any abilities for that.
You can do anything. Anyone can try anything. That's the whole thing.
Um, I'll just try it raw. I'll go raw.
Just like, I mean, don't you have a wait? What are your cliches, Kiso? Give me a
I
reminder.
have warrior. I have samurai. I have nihilistic Nietzsche wannabe. I have monk. Yeah, and that's it.
I feel like nihilistic Nietzsche wannabe is the one here.
That he's good at insulting. Nietzsche did some insults. Okay, so that's a 3.
That's it. Yeah.
Do I still
us
have to
a-
deduct?
No, it's only the one that you were
Okay,
damaged
okay.
on. Yeah.
Okay, so I got 10.
Nice. 10. Give us a role play. See what this is. Like, what is this? Can you give us some impersonation?
I'm just oh God. I'm just gonna say, wrathful Santa, your mom is so old that she I don't know. Her social security number is 0.
Totally. Totally. How dare you insult my mother? Ah! And like veins are popping in his eyes as his forehead bulges. And
Oh,
he's
what?
gonna-
Are you mad now? Are you gonna have what are you gonna do? Cry?
That's my whole thing is being angry. And you're suddenly
Damn.
going to,
Bro is mad right now.
yeah, bro's pissed. He's going to charge towards you again. And this time he's going to stop, and suddenly you're going to smell like burnt gingerbread as he begins to fill your mind with these monstrous, angry plum drops dancing and the most horrific holiday hatred and depression and dread. Well, I'm going to have him roll Christmas Wizard. Try to oppose this with Monk, I think is the right call here. Oh, you're muted now.
There's only emptiness. 6.
Nice. that emptiness is filled with images of burning gingerbread houses and sorrowful elves driven under a cruel taskmaster. Despair and distress. This will be a damage. Take a piece of damage to your monk cliche as you move into this psychic battle with rageful, vengeful Santa. Nosferatu, Lady Silver at the altar. What's up?
Now that the rumbling is over, and I've got blood all over my metallic lower mandible, and my unhuman core is charged with the life essence of the lovely Mrs. Cratchit, I feel as though this area does not require my attention so much. The pathetic waif is getting the crap beat out of him, pudding, if you will. And I sense that my Japanese friend could use some assistance. And I believe that as an artificial being, I will be somewhat impervious to the attacks of this cruel, angry Santa type. So while he attempts to manipulate the Nietzschean but romantic core of Kiso, I'm going to open up my chest toolbox and see what large bladed thing I might find that I can plunge into his back like a coward.
Totally. Do you have a large bladed thing in your chest toolbox, Nosferatu?
I have a tool belly. I never keep track of the inventory very well. There are things in there. It is a little bit like the rear of the gray rabbit of the animated short films. I reach behind and pull something out. It is often useful.
Totally.
So that would be if I were to roll robot for that, because it's one of his cliches.
Totally.
One of his tools.
It'll be kind of like a luck roll.
Yeah. 3, 3, 5, 2.
10.
Math.
Is it greater
11.
than 10? Nice.
Yeah. 12. No.
12.
3, 3, 5, 2. 13.
Nice. I think you have a pair of like tin snips, big shears that you can.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And do a little bit of that. And then just, I'm looking for the lumbar, and I'm just going to run up and shove those into right under that leather belt he wears. It's so unbecoming. That should distract him.
Distract him, it does. So your vision is suddenly completely shattered. It all evaporates. You're back on this island in this loch in Wales. Not that they have lochs in Wales, but that's neither here nor there. As angry Santa suddenly... his eyes open wide, his mouth gapes, he coughs and slumps to the ground in front of you, dying. Lady Silver, you have Tiny Tim under you. Let me go, unhand me, you're ruining my ritual.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on him at this point. Like, yeah. The Cratchit family, well, what's left of the Cratchit family is still tied up, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'll go cut him loose.
Totally.
I did not finish her off. She'll be fine. She just did the sticky pudding.
Good restraint there, Nos.
What's Gary up to?
He's probably just cheering us on in the background. Yeah, go team.
You are doing it. Woo!
That's actually a question I have for you, Preston. Do sidekicks get like a turn also, or is it you act as either yourself or the sidekick?
I'm going to make the ruling that they can get their own turn.
Okay.
If you feel like there's something that you want Gary to be doing, just shout it out.
Gary's kind of useless, so it's just fitting that he's cheering off on the sidelines, but I was curious.
Totally. Fred and Avaricious Santa come prodding into the circle at this point. You see this whole situation.
Gonna just walk over to where the others are, probably over by Tiny Tim and the Cratchit family, with Average Santa.
Totally.
Fred, you got somebody come out behind you.
Yeah, are you shooting Avaricious Santa or are you shooting one of the cultists?
Shooting whatever cultist is coming up behind Fred.
Okay, cool. Falls to the ground. No. Avaricious Santa. I feel like now is a time for me to be bargaining for my life.
I don't know. You betrayed Fred. I'm sorry. We can never trust you.
I I have I have information about the plots of Envious Santa that might be of use to you. If you kill me now, my brother Santas are spread throughout time, and you may never find them before it's too late. This is a
Well,
good deal.
You're not the first one that we found.
No, it seems it might be a useful bargain, as he says. Also, if we were to remove his other two limbs and just sort of put him in a sack in the sleigh, he is very unlikely to attempt any more treachery.
I concur fully.
You know, we could just tie him up.
Yeah, that is more the cowboy way of doing things. We come from civilizations that have dignity and honor. We do not merely bind our foes.
You cut their limbs off?
Yeah. I don't mind whatever you want to do with him. I don't trust him, but at least he makes Gary feel better about himself.
And
True.
Avaricious Santa, do you have an understanding, perhaps, of how this pathetic waif / evil wizard should be addressed / disposed of? Do we merely toss him into the frigid waters in which his dark lord awaits, where he'll be a minnow?
Well, that's up to you how he's dealt with. My understanding is that the confluence of the stars has now passed. It's after midnight and the opportunity is gone. This one, within his lifetime, will never have a chance like this again.
But we don't want him to teach anyone else how to do it.
Please don't kill me. I promise to be good. God bless us, everyone, and all that.
I'm going to take a look at his crutches and make sure they're not magical items.
They are ordinary crutches.
I mean, honestly, if we send him home with Bob and his poor drained mom and the rest of the siblings, I think he's got a sister called Martha. He has to sit through that mawkish Christmas meal for the rest of his life. That's punishment enough.
I think Mr. Cratchit should administer a few more beatings now and then. But then that's how he lost his legs, isn't it?
I traded these fair and square. Go ahead.
Well, Avaricious, that's what we'll call you from now on. Where are we supposed to go next?
Are you not going to cut my legs off?
Cutting his legs off. I'll do it while he was talking to someone else so he doesn't notice.
He doesn't notice.
It's like when they drop something in the surgery room before they amputate.
So you cut his legs off and now just a stump
carrying him.
Okay, I'll roll him.
Carry him.
I'll roll him around.
This is so unreasonable. Well,
wear him like a backpack.
Backpack Avaricious Santa. The final. I have no strategy here, but honesty. I have nothing to offer. I wish I could give you a new space cruiser or ultimate weapons, but none of it will be enough for you crazy people. Oh, you must travel to Jerusalem to the first Noel to stop the great coup. And he'll faint from the blood loss.
I can assist him with the blood loss. We have certain ability to cauterize. Thus, the victims don't always drain out independently. The first Noel, the angel swelled, the fat bastard with no limbs did say. So 3 of you will be wise men.
Yeah, well, we're going to go see Jesus himself.
Is there some reason for us to row back across the loch, or can the reindeer just be whistled for, or something
we
more
should be able to
practical?
just call him, right?
Yeah. They've now realized that the ritual over, the magic of the loch is dormant again, and they're flying down to you. They land next to you in the clearing. All right, boys, where to now?
Jerusalem, the day that Christ was born. Well,
Or
wait,
is
there's
it
some debate as to
Bethlehem?
when
Or is
That's
it
correct.
Nazareth? The curious thing about the ancient books is that they are inconsistent.
Well, yeah, I've heard as much that the wise men showed up 13 days later or 2 years later, because he says to the king, the king kills all the kids from 2 years older. So
Yeah, the whole thing about them coming from the Orient is a later accretion. I understand. It's a big muddle. Pretty hard to figure out. Hey, but the reindeers probably know whatever. The first Noel's probably a date on their little red and green and gold doohickey.
On the
Totally.
Christmas computer.
Yep, we know exactly where and when to go.
All right. But I ain't going to shoot Jesus.
Shoot Jesus. The reindeer start loading up the body of Santa, of dead, angry Santa, next to the others. You've now killed Santa. Let's see. You killed 3 times, right? You killed Pervert Santa.
We disabled one.
And you've disabled the one. Avaricious is sitting in the back.
We are exactly halfway through the Santas. 3.5 Santas remain.
Truth.
Well, as a samurai, I have no problem dispatching of Christians. They've caused many a rebellion on my home country.
There will be no Christians at the first Noel. That cult did not develop for at least 50 or 60 years after the birth of the Jesus figure, whether he be in Nazareth or Bethlehem. I suppose we are looking for a manger, however.
Totally. You're having this conversation in the sleigh as you go through the peppermint tunnel. As has become convention, this will be a time for us to roll advancement on all the cliches that were challenged since we last rolled advancement. And I'll make the rule. That's done. You will roll the full count of your cliche. And if you get all even numbers, it will permanently increase by 1. And I specify because in the case of Kiso, you would roll all of your samurai dice, even though you're currently injured.
1 die didn't make it. No.
1 die didn't make it.
Yeah. Same.
Oh, 1 die didn't make it the second time.
Brutal.
And I got it on the 3rd.
Nice.
But that just makes me a little bit more of a leader, which I haven't really used because I'm humble.
Yeah, have you actually rolled that cliche, Red?
No, I don't think so. Oh,
then you
got to roll it.
Yeah.
All right. So nothing.
I'm rolling 5s for everything. Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Fred, Kiso?
I did not advance. I rolled too many 1s.
Bummer. Everybody's coming in with the same skill set they left with. Cool.
Yep. Now, if we run across a ranch somewhere along here, I can help organize it, and then I could roll on my leadership. But
I think a manger is kind of a ranch. Yeah, it's a barn. It's a barn.
Cows are a coven. I could do that.
Totally.
Well, we'll see. There's some debate as to whether it was a barn or whether it was a cave.
Yeah. There's a lot of debate about a lot of things.
Yep.
And on
because it's 2,000 years ago.
That's it. And you emerge 2,000 years ago over the land of Judea, just coming down from this supersonic speeds. It's snowing. It's been snowing this whole time. It was snowing at Antonio's. It was snowing in New York. It was snowing in London and Wales. It's snowing here.
Wow, that's got to be rare here.
You can expect it to draw a lot of attention that it's snowing in Roman-occupied Judea in early spring. It's the estimate the reindeers have of when Christ was born. And seeing as it's the first Christmas, they'd have a decent guess. Before we go further into this section of it, this is Risus' Earth, not the Earth the players live in.
Not real Earth, right?
Not real Earth.
So any sort of blasphemy that we might be about to do, just it's part of the game. Okay.
Precisely. Precisely. Dasher comes through on the harness. I'm like, shh, don't worry, the snow will stop when we land. And look, there's Jerusalem. Amid valleys slowly filling with snow, there's a large walled town built on a rocky hill. It's evening. There are torches and lamps on the city walls flickering through the snow. You can almost hear the watchmen calling out to one another.
Now, do we want to be in Jerusalem or Bethlehem?
I believe it was Jerusalem by the reindeer's reckoning.
Okay.
I mean, I suppose if anybody knows where the first Noel is, it's the magic
I guess so.
North Scandinavian talking, chain smoking, beer drinking, magic, dimensional ruminants. I guess.
Well, and it's also Risus' world, so it might be.
They'll say, we've received intelligence reports that the Santas have set up in the Jerusalem capital awaiting the arrival of Christ. He's due to be born tomorrow.
Bethlehem is also like 2 feet away from Jerusalem.
Well, I think it's south of or north of. It's
south,
distance.
Right? Yeah, it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Well, do we have a beat on where this next Santa might be? Do we even know which Santa we're chasing?
No. Well, didn't we get some intelligence that the worst one of all is actually in the North Pole coordinating stuff?
Yeah, that's supposed to be envious Santa. So what do we have left?
Sloth? No.
Sloths should not be too rough. No, we had gluttony.
We already had gluttony.
We had gluttony, avarice, anger. I mean, it's just like the
lust.
Jerusalem Bethlehem thing. They don't always agree.
Right.
It's true.
I try to map it on the Gilligan's Islands, but not everyone concurs.
So it might be lust. We might get there. I mean, we'll get there, and Sloth will just be laying on things. He'll say, "I give up." We'll see.
Who's the other one we're missing aside from Sloth?
Envy.
No,
he's at the North Pole.
One. He's at the North Pole.
Well, but that's still 6, right?
Yeah, we've
dispatched 4. Envy's at the North Pole. We have Sloth, and who's left?
Gluttony, lust, avarice,
pride,
anger,
pride, proud Santa.
Oh yeah, pride. Yeah, this could be proud Santa.
Dasher guides the sleigh down to the Mount of Olives, just to the east of the city, across the Kidron Valley. You can see the east wall of the town and the long stairway leading up to the Ashpot Gate. It's quiet in the evening. This is before electricity or electric lights. It's very, very dark. As the clouds begin to clear, you can see stars blinking through the lights, or through the cloud cover. It's sort of a rough landing. It's rocky under the snow, and you see an odd little man dancing gleefully towards the sleigh about 10 yards away, and he's making whoop whoop noises, dressed in local garb, a linen body shirt, sandals. He eagerly dances towards you and throws himself face down on the ground. You make it an audible crack as his face hits the rock. "O strange visitors from the sky, you have delivered unto me snow in the springtime, and now do arrive in the guise of foreigners in a chariot drawn by strange beasts. Have mercy upon me. Please, art thou devils? Art thou angels? Have thou been sent unto us as prophets? Have mercy, please."
I'm guessing you're a Baptist of some kind.
Oh,
you got a kind of Baptist feel.
I am no Baptist. I am merely a humble carpenter who hath come out to see the prophets descended from on high.
You a married man, carpenter?
Yes, my wife and I earlier today. My sons Mishak and Rabbah, sons of Wrath. That's me, Wrath, Gilrath, sons of Aberleth, sons of Mothor, sons of Barath, sons of Jake, sons of Gideon. And he continues on that way for a while. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Annoying Santa.
We have come to you, peasant from the sky, to assist you on an important journey you must take. There are creatures among you who do not belong here, and we have been sent from on high to remove them. Perhaps you have noticed of late in your humble city obese men with full white beards. Tell us about them, won't you? Tell us.
Oh, well, obese men with full white beards describes our great King Herod, but moreover, there hath been strange visitors who hath arrived at the temple from yonder bizarre star fixed in the sky. And these strangers at the temple, and you can see as the cloud cover clears, a bright star, for all appearances, just sitting there, that my family hath gone into the Gentile court of the temple of King Herod, and we have seen these strangers, these 5 strangers, of whom you ask and whom you come to recover, thou strange visitors from on high. Their clothes seemingly fashioned of silver, their heads of angels, halos like angels, and they did speaketh to the crowd in strangest tongues, saying, "Hi, where's Christ at?" But we knew not of Christ nor of angels, and they wandered into the city, and I seeth them no further. Oh, have mercy, strange visitors, have mercy.
All the mercy you want, kid. Don't worry about it. You got it. We got you covered. Just lead us on to yon strange halo-headed, I'm guessing Martians. What do you think, Martians?
Angels? People pretending to be angels? Messengers from on high.
Oh, I knoweth not the Martians whereof thou speakest, but I can lead thee into the city.
Yeah, the Martians are on the other side of Ephesians. Don't worry about it. Just lead on.
So this strange, eccentric, but highly spiritual carpenter leads you down through the Kitchen Valley, up the stairs to the gate, whereat a Roman soldier eyes you suspiciously, and remind me how you're all dressed? Yeah.
We are travelers from ancient Persia coming to, you don't recognize our costumes.
This is the Roman guard at the gate. I've seen some weird stuff back home. Trust me, I'm not too concerned about it. But these locals, they act all kind of weird ways. Why don't you head in? And he points to the Harabub smuck right by the gate. Why don't you head in there and pick up some local garb? It'll help keep things cool. We wouldn't want to riot in the temple or anything.
That's probably a good idea.
We appreciate your thoughtfulness. Honorable soldier, how are you called by your family?
My name is Gladius, but don't go spreading that around.
I understand. If I were named for a short sword, I too would be quiet of it. We shall return briefly in dusty robes.
That's a good lad.
Appreciate your penchant for crucifixion. I also have that where I'm from.
Yeah, it's lots of people don't appreciate the finer arts of crucifixion. It's really quite a technical endeavor. Any, we can talk about this at another time, but it's nice to see a fellow connoisseur.
Exactly.
Um, you head into this little smock shop. The shopkeeper greets you. Oh, hello there, strange, bizarre travelers. Why, thou must be terribly in need of some new garb, for thou hast come to me, humble Harabab, dealer of smocks and shrouds. And he'll set to busily measuring you. And unfortunately, we're out of linen smocks. But I have this Oriental astrologer look, these wonderful, colorful, and so on. I think you can all see where this is going.
Yeah.
Nice.
We five kings of Oriental.
Mr. Harabub, if I may, I can only assume that you are related to our friend Gladius and that there is some sort of reciprocal fiscal situation going on where he'll let anyone into town as long as they purchase garments from you.
He looks at you alarmed. Why, thou speakest in such bizarre tones, but indeed, for Gladius hath been very kind to send such obviously wealthy travelers as themselves unto me here in my humble smockery. He's measuring you up.
Please take note of our friend Gary. He'll need extra special sleeves. They must be detachable.
Detachable sleeves, noted. Well, very good, very good. And he'll present you with your new Oriental astronomer garb. Now, if thou seekest anything whereof to eat, I heartily recommend Adam's Rib Counter. That's where where I shalt go after this hath been complete. If thou wisheth.
Thank you very much for the recommendation. And oh, hey, what's this behind your ear? And I'll pull a coin out from behind his ear.
Oh, a shekel from behind mine ear. Thou art far too kind.
Ah, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Thank you for outfitting us and making us look good. Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's not often that I have the opportunity to be of assistance to such worldly and kind travelers.
Fred, you might want to be a little careful with the magic. You know, it might burn you at the stake.
I said real magic. It's just trick of the hand.
Yeah, they don't.
These are not the Middle Ages. Everyone in this time is a prophet who does magical resurrections and things. He has 1,500 years before he needs to worry about being burnt as a witch. I remember.
Well, at least we get to solve one grand mystery. Where the hell is the temple actually at?
Totally. So you're out of Harabab's now. You're in the way of the cheesemongers in the city of David at the south end of Jerusalem. It's quiet. Harabab is closing up shop behind you. Where are you headed?
It was my understanding that the other 5 weirdos were on their way to see Herod, and Herod seemed like he was likely a sloth Santa. So I recommend we make a beeline for the palace.
Yeah, that's a good
Might not be
idea.
business hours, but time is of the essence, I suppose. Although, given that we have a time traveling device, I don't know. We can just go try again yesterday if we fuck it up. But
Seeking out the angels at the palace. Sure you don't want any delicious ribs? Delicious Adam's ribs? No?
Do they have apple pie?
I take my sustenance elsewhere.
Very good. Very good.
Well, when was
No
the
apple.
last time we ate?
The pizza at Antonio's, frankly. Unless
I
probably
had
hot
the
nuts.
I had the snack on Lucknow.
Yeah, I haven't eaten in centuries. And I don't mean that for magic. I just mean I'm playing it. We're traveling through time. No, let's get down to the business.
Okay. Very good. Oh, okay. We have a costume change from red. Excellent, excellent. Very good. Uh, you're heading towards the palace of King Herod. Um, this is a large building, resplendent. This is of course, the Roman propped up king. So he spent a great deal of the royal fortune just in making the city nice and charming, giving them some sense of independence from their Roman overlords.
Married his
Um,
sister.
that's it. That's it. Has a whole thing for his stepdaughter. Uh, she just does that dance she'll do. Or is that the next Herod?
Salome.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the next Herod. Correct.
Yes, this is Herod the Father. Um, you arrive at the gate of the palace, and the palace guards immediately. Oh, for thou art wise astrologers from the east. Surely thou hast come to explain the recent mysteries and bizarre happenings to our great dear king. He hath been expecting thee. Come, come, right this way. And you are shepherded into the great palace hallway. As you enter, there is fanfare and celebration. Trumpets are sounding, banners are fluttering. Scantily clad people of all genders are waving and winking. They're gathering into an entourage as you enter into the palace. And as you come into the throne room, you have picked up dozens of these followers. They're surrounded by guards, flanked along the walls in this glorious, enormous throne room that's just full of a big crowd. It's hardly as if there's room for the king, but he squeezes in somehow. The doors fly open, and his even larger, even more splendiferous, ever more fabulous entourage just blows yours out of the way. He marches directly up to the throne, turns to you, sits down, it creaks. He's a heavy dude. He's a heavy dude with a rosy nose and cheeks, twinkling eyes, and a great white beard. It's a Santa Claus. There's no doubt. He doesn't want there to be doubt. This is a Santa Claus cloaked in an almost radiant air of smug self-appreciation. He looks at you all warmly now in the center of the room. The entourage has retreated to the walls, leaving you alone in front of his throne on a raised platform. Gives you a little trademark. Ho, ho, ho. Welcome, are thee, that your wisdom hath been brought through the hardship across the deserts of Judea. We are low before such wise ones that have crossed the Jordan and the sandy hills to see us in the time of great omen. The skies bear snow and the bright and ominous star. Would these wise persons, these great astrologers, deign to reveal their meaning to us?
Well, I imagine you heard some prophecies.
The prophecies?
The
Say
question
more.
is whether you're looking at one prophecy or five prophecies, or how you figure out which of the prophecies. Because I know you got your desert's chock full of prophets running around saying this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Right? So it's trying to figure out exactly what prophecy you're looking for. Uh, my associate, my wise, the vizier, Fred Das here, can show you a couple of wonders just to sort of set up the pattern. We can move on into your questions, maybe do a little tarot spread. Fred, yes?
Yes. Now, greetings, great king. Allow me to show you some excellent wonders. And I start to pull a handkerchief out of my pocket. It keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and it keeps coming.
Ah,
And then cup.
yes. For thy handkerchief proceedeth infinitely. And
Yes, this is in
polite
case you have a
chuckling.
very runny nose.
The crickets in the room.
Read the room, and I'll pull out like a little ball, and I'll try to do some sleight of hand kind of tricks, sort of thing. And I'm looking around. It's obviously quiet. I'm kind of looking at Nos, going, giving you the facial expression of this is not going well.
Gary, do the thing with your arms, man.
It's my time to shine. And his arms flop to the floor.
Ta-da!
Thou art mighty pathetic, astrologers, for wise ones. And you, quiet in the corner, he turns to Kisho. What tricks hast thou to show us here? What wisdom?
I have much wisdom, but I'm afraid it would be beyond your pathetic mind. We're looking for a Moshiach. We're looking for the Messiah, who we believe was born here.
Well, thou art the great astrologers. Shouldn't thou knowest where the Moshiach is found? Why ask thou me?
If I remember correctly, we're supposed to follow the star. But
And thou hast followed it?
We came here just to see the great king of Rome. Or wait, you're not even the Roman king. You're just the puppet king.
The crowd is decidedly turning against you now. People are scowling and muttering amongst themselves. Yes, yes. The Romans serve me in my way. And thou, fair lady, what dost thou do amongst this crowd? Thy ugly face when it's on occasion.
Sorry, I was out again. And thou, fair lady, what dost thou do? That's the last thing.
Do the disappearing act. Ta-da! And then he insulted me.
Oh,
And surely that serves to hide thy ugly face. That must come in handy. And the crowd definitely laughs at his joke.
shit.
Rhett, do your thing.
I'm sorry, I was out again.
Oh, I was just saying, Rhett, do your thing.
I will, what shall I do? I will do some rope tricks. And I think in the midst of doing the rope tricks, I'm going to say a prophecy. I can see in the undulations. Oh, fuck.
For thou ceaseth thine action.
I'm out again. Sorry, did you hear any of that? Ah,
Okay.
there you are.
Recorded.
Okay, thou hast returned.
Okay, now I got to put you all back in your proper spots. Oh no.
Does it again?
I don't know what's going on.
At
This
the
is
time of tension, thou.
Hold on, just I need to put you all back in the spots you were in. There.
Forsooth.
There.
Put me here.
Yes.
I
The scene
do
is
not
almost
know
over.
We need to
if
perform some
any of that
miracles to
came
heal his
through.
internet.
No, we still have not heard your great prophecy, unfortunately.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So the rope is undulating above me, and I say,
Mm-hmm.
the Messiah will be born 3 years from now in I'm going to say someplace other than Bethlehem. Actually, I don't know. This is also stupid. I'm trying to keep him from murdering thousands of children.
Totally, totally, totally.
Uh, the Messiah has changed his mind. He's decided not to be born. You don't need to kill any children. And I'm out again.
6 years from now, he's gone again.
And I was gone again. Yeah.
The king
Okay.
grins wickedly, says, these wretches speak with forked tongues and telleth us not the truth. These fools, we shall not suffer them in our midst. Wish them farewell. And the crowd laughs and waves. A soldier yanks a lever, and a trapdoor opens under you, and a dry wind sucks you down into darkness.
As a group act, we have much to work on.
We should have just killed him.
Thump. You land in filthy straw in a very dark room.
Soft landing, at least. I've just landed on Gary. Sorry, Gary.
I'm glad to have
helped.
You're in this cell. As your eyes adjust to the dimness, you notice 5 strangers in the room. There's a sputtering torch.
We understand we were preceded by others. You are perhaps the ones that the lunatic outside described as haloed beings.
Yeah, that's us. They are apparently human, wearing full spacesuits and glass helmets.
You are perhaps chrononauts from a distant future, yes?
Granuloids from planet Obulon, but close enough. How do you know?
I'm sorry, I was diagnosed with granuloids at one point.
We ourselves are time travelers. We're coming from, well, if this is the year 0, then we are coming from about 2,000 some odd years in the future from here, trying to prevent the end of the world.
Man, so are we. We're in this foul city after Christ, looking for Christ. He's supposed to get born any day, and we come to meet him, and this king, and there are these babes, and this, what was it? Well, it was wine. We never had wine. We got to take wine back to planet Obulon. The others are sleeping. There's one talking to you.
So you're trying to prevent the end of your world or something?
Oh, no. We want to protect this world. Yeah, we've got to steal him and destroy the baby. It's been a hell of a. Yeah, there's been all the sunspots, and number 998 filled his Flip-Poralax over the sensors, and we don't even have radio contact in stupid rock.
Well, I'm not sure that you can prevent a future that we already know about.
I mean, you know, the one that you have here, he's not a real person. He was beamed down. He was beamed down. He's an artificial construct. We're going to replace him with a really nice one.
You're talking about Herod.
No. We're talking about Jesus.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he was a bomb. You know, there's this trick where you have this bomb that looks like a person, and you just beam them in right on the honeymoon night, and they never even know. And one of our scientists developed this, but when he found out it was going to be used for military purposes, he went totally rogue, and he's holding this whole planet hostage until we demilitarize, and it's a huge pain in the ass. But to make up for it, we have a genetically engineered really nice guy who has like fish multiplying, water walking powers. It's going to be great. No one will ever know the difference.
So, being from the future, do you know anything about Santa Claus?
We're not from the future. We're from space. We're from like really far from here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
They're
You're not
granuloids
from
from Obulon.
exactly. The robot's paying attention.
Well, I don't know how you pulled that out of your ass, but okay. Uh,
Anyway,
so
the
you're
point
just,
is,
I see what you're
granuloids,
trying to do.
you're space people. You came here to replace a bomb baby with a nice little magic using baby. You don't, I guess you haven't paid attention to what's going to happen to that kid in about 33 years.
Eh,
Yeah, not
that's
your
not
concern.
really our problem.
But what you, with your all intergalactic powers and whatnot, you got some know-how, you got some doohickeys, I bet, and yet you're stuck down here in a, frankly, dung-filled, lice-ridden dungeon pit. You don't have a little beam that can just walk us out of here?
Well, normally we would, but that wine, man, we don't got wine on planet Obulon. We woke up down here with nothing but our suits, and we can't make contact with the ship up above.
Well, we can give you the information on how to create wine for yourselves, but we actually need to kill that fella upstairs, or he's going to try to end the world. He's actually not who he claims to be either.
Whoa. It's like the fakers and the fakers.
In 2,000 years, and we'll have something called weed. That's going to be a real treat.
Actually, I think they had that in ancient Egypt, so they've already got weed.
Oh, even better.
The weed's anything like wine. I think we'll have fun.
Well, I don't feel the need to pretend like I'm some sort of Jerusalem person. I'm going to put my regular hat back on. Maybe they'll worship me as a god or something. How do we get out of here?
I can almost certainly break any metal that they have at this time period simply using my hydraulic arms. I wonder, though, if we want to make less of a fuss, Lady Silver, if you want to throw Gary's arm where it can grab that key ring under that wall sconce.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And then Rhett can lasso the arm, bring it back, and we can leave quietly.
Tie the rope around it as it is, and then fling the arm. Yeah.
As you will. Or Fred could just stretch. The point is that these aliens clearly should not be given the technology of fermentation, as it makes them profoundly incompetent. If they do, however, have the location of the artificial Christ child, that might be a useful point of information for us, as while we have located the proud Santa, we have not located the slothful Santa, who may be in this time-space arena. Also, we don't want the artificial Christ child to explode, probably in terms of our timeline.
Yeah, it'll blow the whole planet up.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
that's not great.
Mm.
Yeah.
we
don't
if
want
we
that to happen.
Yes, if we don't kill the unpleasant, heavily set fellow upstairs with the rosy nose, he will destroy the space-time continuum, which I believe will affect even Obulon.
Yeah, that guy seemed like a real pain in the ass, so I can see that being helpful.
We have killed 3.5 of him already.
Nice. We're clones too.
And that thing that Kiso's wearing, that's not a backpack.
You've had it on the whole time.
Sure.
His job was to carry it. Did he keep carrying it, or did he drop him somewhere?
Or leave him in the sled.
He's maybe in the sled. Yeah. He can't do nothing.
All right, Rhett. Well, let's get those keys.
All right.
Yeah.
So Gary and I will retrieve the keys.
Totally. So you pop Gary's arm off, tie it through it. Just as the keys are clattering back towards you, there's sounds of shouting, commotion, clash of swords beyond the cell. You open the door and are greeted by a band of 12 men in black smocks and black baker's hats with swords and large shields made of stale bread. Oh, well, we were going to rescue thee, but thou hast rescued thyself. Our information verily was true.
What information would that be?
That thou art visitors from heaven who can help us.
Sure.
And friends, yeah. What shall we help you with?
Why, the rescue, of course, for Adam, the owner of Adam's house of Rith, hath the real King Herod hidden in his prison, guarded by his men, and the false king's lazy brother. The false king gave Herod to Adam.
Lazy brother.
They might both be here.
Well, let's...
Lead on. I want to meet this false king's lazy brother, because I imagine he'll be a lot easier to behead than the arrogant prick upstairs.
Totally. Yes, let us rid the...
What? Can you explain, by the way, however, the whole baked goods shtick?
Totally. There's their leader, Harley, will explain to you, walking through the tunnel, that some years ago... Yeah, you're walking through the secret tunnel, yes, to our good lair. That some years ago he had a vision of what you would recognize as the Last Supper, which he interpreted as a message from God destining him to bake the loaf of bread for said Last Supper, hence the bakers for Christ. Now, Adam simultaneously had the same dream, which he interpreted as a call to cannibalism, his goal being to eat the Christ. And in the meantime, why wait for Christ to be born and not begin immediately? So the evil cannibal cult of Adam has set up in their evil lair under the House of Ribs.
It's a good thing we didn't stop for lunch after all.
Yes, it is. For otherwise thou might not have... Well, the ribs are delicious and memorable.
Some of us would be more disturbed than others, of course.
Well, I'm not sure how it would react with my physiology. I could end up becoming a Wendigo or a ghoul or something. Because in our world, you don't eat people.
Verily, in this world too, it doth be a great evil to do so.
Try eating a person if they offered it.
Just to say you did it.
Exactly. As long as I didn't have to kill anybody. Well, I guess I don't really
ethically
care about
sourced.
killing. Exactly.
Ethically sourced.
That's some Hannibal Lecter shit.
Thou art strange, cosmic visitors who hath come to save us.
Well, let's get to saving you. We've got a mission, and we're going to fulfill it.
Totally. So it's now like midnight, maybe. The lair is under the House of Ribs, and that's about all you know. What is your strategy? What are you going to do here? They bring you back to their lair. You're welcome to eat, to sleep overnight. The bakers for Christ.
We could offer to sell them Avaricious Santa.
We need to kill these Santas.
Yeah, we're just keeping one alive because he's useful for now.
Right.
I must point out, although it seems somewhat unkind, that he has fulfilled his usefulness. Now that we have located both the prideful Santa and the slothful Santa, and we know that the envious Santa is in our original timeline at the North Pole, the avaricious one is essentially a throw pillow who can tell us nothing.
I'd like confirmation at least that we've also found Slothful Santa.
Right.
I agree. It does seem likely, but I'd like that confirmation.
Also, it is reasonable to point out that we have to trudge across the desert to retrieve Avaricious Santa to offer up his flesh.
Yeah.
And we don't know that perhaps if the Adam people ate him, they wouldn't have some sort of side effect due to the fact that he is not merely mortal, but a component of the Santa matrix. Probably we should just slice him in two when we're done here.
Santa Matrix.
I'm still quite refreshed via Mrs. Cratchit, but if you all want to have a snack or a nap before we attend to matters at the Carnivorous Rib House, I have no objection.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, we could recover some of our lost stamina, but I eat no people.
No, of course not. We have reasonable food here. Come, enjoy our baked goods. It's like 17 different kinds of bread, hand pies, stuffed things.
Honestly, I don't, consume these kinds of carbohydrates, Rhett, but I smell some sort of nutmeg cinnamon job, maybe a challah bread that I imagine probably pretty enjoyable for you organics.
Yeah, I'll have some. But I kind of feel like the GM's trying to trick us into something.
Yeah, who knows who's tricking whom?
So I'll smell it carefully and make sure there's no odd smell. But I'll go first. I can handle poison pretty well, if there is any.
It's legitimate. It's delicious.
I will
My
certainly have
God,
some.
this is Ezekiel bread, just like it says in the Bible.
Harley. Oh, yes, thou art a fellow connoisseur of the baking arts.
You have any beer?
Forsooth. He pulls out like a full jug of beer, and it's the good old school, like they don't have refrigeration. It's thick, it's calorific, it's delicious. All of you who partake of the delicious food and rest will recover to full potency in whatever cliches you're injured in.
Okay.
Our food really has gone downhill since this time.
Yes.
Or wait, I'm not Jewish. I'm Japanese, I forgot.
I fully understood R. It's just humanity hath lost
Humanity's
the true
food,
way.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, what are our plans going to be? Where shall we go with this? And should we strike while people are still asleep?
Not a bad plan.
This might be to our advantage, as you note, Fred and Rhett. Harley, did you say something about this lair being immediately beneath Adam's Rib House and Human Flesh Emporium?
Yes, indeed, it doth be there.
If they are directly vertically above us, perhaps we can disrupt things.
Oh, I'm sorry. The lair of the rib cultists is directly beneath the Emporium.
We are not.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you for that clarification.
We are with the bakers.
You are with the bakers in their separate subterranean lair, which is directly beneath the delicious bread store of Harley and Co.
Have the cranialoids enjoyed some of these fine baked goods? How are they occupying themselves?
Yes, they have come with you. They have enjoyed the baked goods. They have enjoyed the beer and are fully asleep again.
Oh, we should not have let them have beer. That was a mistake on our part. Certainly. Useless cranialoids.
Well, and would they have added much value?
I hoped that if they sobered up, they could perhaps have used a laser device to fire through the floor of Adam's Rib House and
Why not just check
incinerate
them for
the lair.
the laser devices then?
They
Yeah,
were stripped of all of their technology while they were wine besotted.
Are you not equipped
So-
with some laser thing?
I may have something in my tool chest. I never can tell.
Hmm.
So,
However,
wait. Go ahead.
I won't have any ability to uh, accelerate something electronically, etc. We are in a primitive stone and mud environment.
I'm wondering the danger of the fact that the Romans might have access to weapons that they or the anyone with those weapons at this period in time, they could change all of this world's history. Maybe I'm just worrying about too many things. Let's go kill that fucker.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude. So y'all are heading to the rib layer at late at night. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Fred, perhaps you can whip us up some nice bibs as if we were eating seafood, but they can have little human figures on them so that we appear to be eager cannibals, thus bypassing any anxiety that our hosts might entertain.
I like that idea. I like that idea. I'll try
I
to
have
fashion us
noticed
some nice bibs.
your talent for costumery has impressed us all.
Thank you.
Yes. You prepare the bibs and the costumes, head to the rib shack. It's now 2 a.m. or so. The streets are thoroughly deserted. It's dark. It's cold. You can clearly see the stars in the bright light of what I hope you have all put together as the Cranialoid ship in orbit above the city. The rib shack is an outdoor dining area. There's a counter, a colorful tarp over it. This is the sign menu.
All right. It says barbecue feast, pork ribs, lamb ribs, camel ribs. You want ribs? Everyone wants ribs. Adam has ribs. The number 1 rib basket, 4 shekels. The number 2 big man's plate, 5 shekels. The number 3 all you can eat ribs, 7 shekels. Roman wine, 1 shekel for a cup and 8 shekel for a pitcher. All rib orders come with choice of fries or slaw.
Fried what?
Fries, French fries, assuming.
Fried Jerusalem artichoke, as the potato will not arrive on this continent for 1,648 years, approximately.
Also, they would be like gall fries, not French fries.
Yeah,
They could be
true.
batatas, which are sweet potato fries. They do have sweet potatoes. All right.
Do you wish to partake of some of these foodstuffs while I, as it were, case the joint, as none of these objects are palatable to my system?
They might be human.
Try some.
Totally. The restaurant is currently closed, but if you climb into the sort of, I'm picturing like the snack bar at a swimming pool, you know, the kind of fry cookery food truck shape. You can pull out some of the ribs, the smoked ribs that they're keeping on ice for tomorrow, if you want to eat them.
Well, if they're, is this is like a small restaurant, right?
It's an outdoor dining area. There's a fire pit and then a counter that they serve from.
So if the cannibals are down below, we have to find the secret entrance, correct?
Yeah.
Is there a building that's there? Or no?
Yeah, it's this small building, this shack, couple meters by more than a couple meters.
I expect the lair is underground in some sort of cave.
Yeah. I'll use my rope trick to lift the latch on the inside of the door so that we can just go in.
Access to the above ground portion. It's a building for fresh air barbecue sales. The sign is posted on the front.
Let's go in quietly and find whatever trap door or a...
Precisely. There's a trap door in the floor as you walk through this little dark kitchen.
Hey, Nosferatu, are you pretty good at seeing in the dark?
I can use these peepers. I mean, actually, this one's glass, but I can use. I got any number of wavelengths and spectra that I can look at. So sure.
Well, I'm not a coward, but I'm gonna suggest that you go first so that you can see.
Yeah, no problem at all. It looks like a. Oh yeah. Also, I can smell pretty effectively too. Yeah, there's some charred carbohydrates in here and proteins that are. Yeah, there's a there's human DNA paste all over this joint. It's a little rank, honestly. Long pig, though, not it is to some taste. I was thinking, though, it seems somewhat unsportsmanlike, were we to use all of the cooking oil that's in the dining establishment to generate an inferno rather than opening the trapdoor ourselves, we could cause a cataclysmic fire to rage down upon the lair of the cannibals, which might be difficult for a slothful Santa to readily flee.
Does olive oil burn?
Sure.
It is a complex hydrocarbon, and they reuse their oil a lot, and there are vats of human lard, in fact, in storage drums.
Yep.
Yuck.
They make the meat pies with human lard. They have a side business selling soap out the back of this restaurant.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Well, there's some chemicals to make explosives with then, too.
So is the strategy just to dump burning oil down into the layer and just have this underground conflagration take care of the problem?
But how will we know?
If we want to make sure we get a general idea of what the lair's like, we can let the ninja and the invisible lady check out the joint beforehand, although just squeaking a trap door open might wake somebody up. On the other hand, if we just dump all the lard and oil onto the floor in here and set it ablaze and walk down the street, we'll see any running cannibals half on fire, maybe carrying a burning Santa. And that seems... It's a lot less gentlemanly, I have to admit, but the fire's going to go down, and then everything's going to be a shit show down there. They probably got a lot of other flammable materials in their grotesque cannibal den.
Straw and other stuff, sure. Yeah, okay. Plus, maybe I don't know if they've got any refined alcohol of any kind, but
only the most experimental types are. Yeah, we're not distilling any ethanol for a couple of 100 years at the best, a few hundred. But, honestly, Kiso, Lady Silver, maybe you just want to have a lark, run around down there, see if you got some intel. Maybe there's a tunnel that's going to ruin the whole plan and you can figure it out. I just kind of like keeping my hands clean and murdering those who have to die. Call me simple.
Not you, Gary. You go stand over there. Keep your arms out of things.
Sounds like a good plan to me. Very dishonorable. I like it.
Yes. So Lady Silver heading down into the lair. The trapdoor swings open smoothly and silently. Fred, Rhett, and Nos are staying above ground, keeping watch, I think. Okay, so we'll follow Lady Silver and Kiso into the darkness. You enter First, a storage cellar, clay urns filled with barbecue sauce, rib basket liners, napkins. There's an empty cot in the corner, and a large, fresh painted sign.
Barbecue feast. You need Christ. Everybody needs Christ. Adam has Christ. Supplies limited. 1 Christ basket, 5 shekels, with slaw and shepherd pie. 2 Christ on a stick, 3 shekels. Number 3, the Yahweh burger, 4 shekels. Roman wine, 1 shekel cup, 8 shekel pitcher. At least they're keeping those prices consistent. Fond of our Yahweh burgers? Ask for the Yahweh all the way for extra relish and mustard at no extra cost. Holy infant, so tender and mild.
There's a winding tunnel leading off and down from the storage corridor. You sneak down the tunnel. You can hear a distant bubble blurp, blorp, blorble sound coming from the distance. You make it into a larger octagonal room. There's crates of vacuum-packed shepherd pie. Just around the corner, you can hear the loud blurble popping sound.
With real shepherd.
With real shepherd.
And we don't see anybody around though.
No one. You haven't encountered anyone yet. No. Okay. Are you continuing deeper into the lair?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like you both to roll your stealthiest cliche against, call it a 10 for both of you.
13.
13.
19.
19. Nice. So you both successfully round this corner and you see the barbecue temple. It's a small but ornate temple outfitted with cannibal cookery gear and altar pews. There's slogans on the wall. The most repeated one is if you can't argue with it, it isn't fit to eat. There's a bubbling pit of hot barbecue sauce in the middle of the chamber. The real King Herod, barely conscious, hangs above it, suspended, head down. Lazy Santa Claus is here, dressed in local garb. Big Adam and a handful of cultists are here, chowing down on some late night snacks. They haven't seen you. You're spying us from the shadows.
Does it look like there's any other exit?
No, it's a dead end down here.
All right, let's go ahead with the burning. Oh, actually, do we care about the real king? No, we don't care about the real king. Let's go with the burning plan.
Nice. So you return to the surface and you set up to burn, send conflagrations of fire down into the barbecue pit. Nice.
I got one point of order. One more thing, if you don't mind. If the menu that you noticed is accurate and they think they've got the baby Jesus, and the baby Jesus is in fact the explosive from the Cranialoids of Babylon.
That is true.
We do not probably want to blow that up if it is an Earth eradicating device.
Yeah, that is fair. And I'm assuming we don't find any baby Jesus anywhere.
No, yeah, the plan what is to seize the baby Jesus upon his birth. Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if they ain't got the baby Jesus yet, then let's just immolate him.
Operation. Yeah.
Start, breaking open these crates of lard, spreading them around. Top that off with some olive oil, a little bit of wine as a chef's kiss.
Totally.
And once we set up a little, I believe I can design a structure that will give us a certain amount of time before a flaming pot of oil tips over onto the mass so that we can surround the mesa or geographic structure. In case there are any escapees from the conflagration, we can pick them off one by one. Brett, I noticed that you are a handy shot and go right for the head, which surprised me.
Yep. That's old Bessie.
Nice. I think this
I can
totally works.
actually fight with two hands.
Nice. I think this totally works without a hitch. You successfully set up the conflagration. It burns into the night sky and down into this tunnel. Um, it takes several hours for it to finally go out. By the early morning, there's only a pile of embers where atoms used to be. Some hungry teenagers on the way to their gig as lifeguards come by. What the hell happened? What's what?
Burned to the ground, man. Crazy.
Barbecues, you know.
It's all that grease, hot oil.
Stupid coal pit.
If anything, it would have smoked them out and filled the whole, it sucked all the oxygen out. So
Yep.
if they didn't burn, they died of suffocation.
When it is cool enough, however, we should enter and verify that there is no remnant of slothful Santa, who as a supernatural being may not have succumbed merely to suffocation and great temperature.
He could have laid a finger aside of his nose. We've seen a number of them trying to do that before.
You're assuming slothful Santa is going to be willing to put forth the effort to do any of those things.
He may have been sleeping off a great pile of shepherd pies.
Indeed, indeed. You descend once it's cool enough to do so. It's now right morning, armed, all of you. You just find the burnt bodies of King Herod still hanging from his chains, the cultists spread, attempting to get to the exit, but having been forced back by the roaring flames shooting down the corridor, and the just burnt, crispy corpse of what was once slothful Santa. Rest in peace.
We'll
What's that knock?
cut it up a
Can't hear
little
you.
just to make sure.
Yes, if you separate the skull from the torso, we are now down to merely 2.5 Santas. Perhaps we should find the granuloids now and see if they can be of use in dispatching the proud one.
Indeed.
I love the smell of cannibal in the morning.
Thought it was kind of a fitting end. They got smoked.
Ha, 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 ha.
Nice, nice. So the move now is to try to find the granuloids to help you eliminate prideful Santa.
Yeah, we definitely need to get them out of the jail. And well, we
They-
got them out of the jail, didn't we?
Yes, they escaped with you. Last you saw them was at Harley's lair.
If we sober them up, they can use their starship, perhaps, to blast King Herod into the oblivion.
Totally.
That would be acceptable.
So if you
I
head
think
to,
I was just gonna say, I think they're still asleep on the beer they drank.
well, funny story that you head to Harley's lair to look for the granuloids, and the bread cultists are just awakening, and the granuloids are already gone.
Oh,
Nobody's sure when they left.
I would like then to quickly scan through the electromagnetic spectrum for signals either to or from a spacecraft in orbit nearby.
Yep, you get intense bursts of communication, which it's no fun for you to fail at this, so I'll just tell you. You can localize to Bethlehem, just a few miles south of Jerusalem. You can't decrypt or understand any of it. It's just weird alien encoding, but you can detect the signals going back and forth.
right, they're already there.
Does
I
that
guess
mean
we I guess we have to take care of Proud Santa ourselves.
I'm slightly concerned as they seem less than competent? Maybe we ought to help them in Bethlehem with the boom boom Jesus.
Boom, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, on the one hand, we know where the asshole is, just a couple blocks away. That seems convenient. But those bozos, somebody gives them, I don't know, an Egyptian wine spritzer. They screw up, and we all go kablooey before we can fix what we need to and get back to appropriate coordinates on the Gestalt space-time continuum. I'm
Well,
not
that
speaking out of
sounds
turn.
completely reasonable. We don't want to blow up the whole world. That's why we're here. So let's go get that J bomb.
Wait, did the ship leave too? Sorry. Yeah, no. Okay, it's still there.
Oh, it's still there.
About to
Yeah.
say they're gonna swap him out with some other guy. We should probably make sure that happens.
Totally. Totally. So you're heading to Bethlehem. The reindeer can take you there in a jiffy, like that. When you arrive, it's a tiny village. There's lots of shepherds, sheep, goats, that kind of thing. There's only one inn. It's packed for the spring tourist season. There is, I guess this is sort of a like order note. Would you like to end right here, or are people cool with an extra like 5 minutes, and then it'll be a natural ending?
5 minutes,
It's
fine.
fine.
Yeah.
Cool. So you arrive at Bethlehem. It's a tiny village. Shepherds. There's of course only the one inn packed for the spring tourist season. There's a no vacancy sign, manger in back on the front door. From behind the manger, a strange, beautiful glow emerges. As you peek around the corner, your eyes come to rest on a beautiful and familiar scene. It's the nativity with all the trimmings. There's Joseph and Mary sitting quietly among a group of adoring animals, many of which are not otherwise found in this part of the world. There's a baby in a manger, wrapped in swaddling clothes and glowing with strange alien energies that could blow the world to smithereens. Santa Claus, wearing the robes of King Herod and screaming angrily, tumbles into the scene, wrestling with one of the cranialoids from planet Obulon, while 4 other aliens run around the manger shouting, "It's already glowing! It's already glowing!" Joseph and Mary start an alarm as Santa grabs the child. One of the cranialoids grabs it from him, and a second glowing child appears in the cradle in a burst of electric light. Another cranialoid grabs that child to keep it safe, fakes out Santa in a dodge, and passes the child to yet another cranialoid. Santa pulls a third glowing infant from beneath his white robes and declares, "This child will make the name of Santa synonymous with his own," just as one of the other cranialoid grants it from him and trades it with another. Santa is fuming, and the cranialoids are panicking. Mary faints. Someone tosses one of the babies directly towards you. Is anyone going to try and catch it? Okay.
A bunch of us were trying to catch it.
Yeah. Everybody roll on your most athletic cliche.
Okay.
Who gets it.
I'd like, actually, instead of me, I'd like Gary to roll to like throw his arms out to try to catch.
Yeah.
I'll roll for him if you want. So.
Totally. Please do. Please roll for Gary.
I got a 13.
Nice.
Gary got a 12.
Nice.
6.
I rolled only an 8 and was using strength anyway, which is not ideal.
Nice. So are you going to try and catch the baby? Sounds like Gary and Rhett, between the two of them, have recovered him.
Yeah, Kiso is not going to try to catch this pathetic baby.
Nice. So Gary and Rhett have recovered the baby. What's the name? Smug Santa and the cranialoids are both juggling with the other two. What are you doing?
I got the baby.
Like Rhett's arms just like hanging from it. Not Rhett, Gary's arms.
Gary, how do you, Rhett, what's the basis by which you think you got the correct infant?
It's glowing.
They're all glowing.
Well, I don't know. Shoot, kill the Santa.
Yeah.
Smug.
Kiso, you've got the biggest Santa count so far. You should cut that one down a bit. You know, if he's gouting blood from his upper thighs, he's going to be a little less proud.
Pride goeth before the fall. Someone's going to say that in a few years.
Face down in animal dung, I find. The most proud aristocrat feels somewhat diminished on such circumstance. However, we must ensure that none of the infants are permitted to explode. Granuloids, may you disarm your explosive infant, please.
Aye, we can beam the right one up. We just gotta figure out which one it is. Now wait a second here. Now that one's glowing and that one's glowing. So Kiso is attacking Smug Santa. Gary and Rhett have a glowing baby. Fred, what are you doing here?
Fred, I don't know what to do in this crazy ass situation. Um,
Always go for Proud Santa if you can.
I'll go for Proud Santa too.
Totally. Maybe stretching to ensnare him, or
Yeah, I could do that.
totally. So you've caught Proud Santa, Kiso. How are you going to execute him now that he has the baby?
Just star directly into his face.
Nice. He's not so smug now, blood dripping down.
Oh! Another 19.
Nice. He slumps in your arms, Fred, to the ground. The Crenulets, okay. I think we've got it sorted out. And there's a flash of light, and one of the babies just disappears. And then we have this one, and they put it gently in the cradle, and you keep that one. Everyone's happy.
I would like to use a full spectrum analysis to investigate both of the remaining Christ children.
Totally. The one in the manger is some alien modified nonsense. And the one in Rhett's arms is a Santa promoting going to make the name Christmas into Santamas shill. So the babies are all correctly aligned. It's almost enough to make you cry.
So wait, which one's the real baby? The one that's in the manger?
Well, there isn't really a real baby.
Mary, you see, was intact. She had never conceived. The alien visited her and said, expect an infant. She had some flatus, perhaps. And then they presented an infant, and then the Santa presented an infant, and then there was the replacement infant for the bomb infant. Now,
So which one's this one?
That one is the evil Santa infant that we need to dispose of, I'm afraid.
So I can't keep it.
What would you do with it?
You could send it back to your home dimension and raise it to be something benign in a Santa-free universe.
I mean, you're kind of close. I could send it to my headquarters, but that's in Kansas, and it's in this world. Well, it's in our world.
It's in. You're in my world, buddy. You're from another world. You made that ultimately clear repeatedly.
I could train him to be a witch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he wouldn't have to die on a cross. But do we have to?
The one that can walk on water is going to do that business.
Okay.
That's the alien one that can make fishes multiply. That's the one with the sad
And that's
outcome.
that one. That's that
Yeah,
one.
that's the one we put back in the straw bin.
So this one's just a regular kid.
It's an artificial being designed to promote Santas. But it doesn't need to. That was just the Santa's business.
I can deprogram it. I've been through this before. I'll keep the baby.
Yes. You've been very, very kind to me. The reindeer trot around the manger. Say, come on, folks. Let's go. We have to head to the North Pole. Our work is almost done.
You little baby, aren't you? Yes, you are.
It looks at you as if it had adult intelligence despite being newborn. I find it disturbing.
That's an excellent place to end the session.
Don't call my baby a homunculus. All right. Our players included Julian Arba, Holly Buteau, Max Meltzer, David Gasway, and myself, with Preston Firestone as the game master. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the wonderful world of the Risus role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.